RTS is always about having a big army of units, but what if we could have only one of each unit at a time? Welcome to the Spec Ops challenge. The rule is simple: have only one unit of each type. For example, one footman, one rifleman, and yes, one worker. And complete everything on hard difficulty. The first mission is fairly easy. Arthas with one footman can easily smash most single units. The footman will soak some damage while Arthas heals him. Bigger forces are more difficult, but we can split them. For Arthas, I will collect the most important items from each mission. Here, it will be the protection ring and some potions. The slave master is not a big deal here, even on hard. In a second mission, we have a new unit, the rifleman. He is a really good addition to my melee Arthas and footman. I might say a thing about workers. Every mission gives me a different number of workers in different positions. I try to remove them as soon as possible, at least stop them from working and eliminate them if time allows. That means that at the start of a mission, they might bring in some 30 gold extra, but probably not more. And another thing, since I have only one worker, I always need to decide what to do with him. Gather gold, gather wood, or build. That limits my economy a lot. But that will be a problem for other missions. Here we have a quest to kill a dragon, and the reward is really important, the Orb of Fire. It lets Arthas hit air units, which is crucial. I will be limited in my options to deal with air. To kill the dragon, I need to heal and cover my rifleman. On a third attempt, I managed to kill the dragon, saving the rifleman. Another thing, I am able to rebuild units in case of loss, or replace them if I find others. But right now, the cost is too high. I picked up Claws of Attack +3 and a Gauntlet of Ogre Strength with Arthas, while my footman and rifleman helped Uther defend the base. Once I was ready, I slowly pushed towards the Blade Master and eventually lost my footman. I decided I could finish the Blade Master without him. But he is level 6 and very dangerous for both Arthas and the rifleman. Luckily, his illusions worked against him. They blocked the real Blade Master from reaching my rifleman while Arthas stayed shielded. Still, I barely managed to kill him and can move on. In the third mission we have two heroes. Since it's Spec Ops, I choose Arthas to lead the charge, and his captain, since he's technically a footman. And there is nothing special in this mission, just move forward until you meet the clerics and the mortar team, collect every item along the way, and I decided to grab a bunch of mana potions and intelligence items for mana regen. The fourth mission is simple as well. Grab the Claws of Attack from the trolls, get more mana potions, and just Holy Light Kel'Thuzad. All of the items I found for Arthas are for this fifth mission. Here we need to defend for 30 minutes, and I don't think we can strike enemy with our spec forces. This is where the economy problems become obvious. I have only one worker for building, repairing, gathering gold and wood. So my initial idea was, I need a mortar team, a high range specialist who can deal a good amount of damage. And that was basically it, all I could afford. I tried repairing towers, I tried building more, didn't help. Even worse, I lost those towers quicker than I thought. The initial attack waves aren't so bad. You can handle them with Arthas soaking damage, when shielding to support the others. But the waves get bigger with each minute. I could still handle them, but the problem was damage output. There's just not enough of it to clear one wave before the next arrives. At minute 10, I survived a wave and set Arthas after the caravan. I didn't want extra waves, plus the caravan carries a pretty strong item for Arthas. It's enough to just destroy the meat wagons to stop the caravan and get the item. Arthas can do that solo, while the rest of my army defends the base. Arthas barely makes it back in time to save the day. But by 15 minutes in, the attack waves became a real problem. I couldn't even regen any mana before the next wave hits. That was bad. I just couldn't handle it anymore, and I was defeated. So I reloaded and found a potential way out. I noticed that when an attack wave destroys any building, it goes back to base, leaving the rest of my structures and army untouched. So I decided to leave my base entirely. Because while the enemy is busy destroying it, I can prepare something new. I had already cleared the ogres and the fountain area, so I could set up my defenses there. And what were my options? If I lose all buildings, it's a game over. So I needed to have some buildings alive. Farms are the cheapest option. So I built a few on my path. And yes, once the enemy finished off my base, it started tracking the other buildings. And if it destroyed a single standing farm, it went back home. That bought me some time. I still had some wood, but no money, so I took Arthas to the nearest shop on the other side of the map to sell some stuff and afford some farms. That kept me going until the final wave. And the final wave, well, they don't hesitate. They just stay and keep destroying. So they had just enough time to eliminate me. And I lost. So I tried a different idea, building those farms in the farthest corners of the map to make the final wave run around chasing them. Didn't help. They still had enough time. But next time, once the farthest farm got destroyed and the enemy moved to the next one, my sneaky worker rebuilt the last farm in the same spot, buying me a few more seconds. And while Arthas was trying to stop the enemy, the real hero was that worker with his farm. The enemy found it earlier than I expected, but it was already a victory. Oh, that felt like the ending of a campaign. But actually, it's just a start. In Mission 6, it's a race with Mal'Ganis to kill 100 infested civilians. With our limited economy, we can't make much. Plus, there will be attack waves on our base. So the only viable option is to speedrun this mission. Arthas goes solo, assaulting Mal'Ganis. Meanwhile, the Knight and the Footman form a second group. Arthas alone is capable of killing Mal'Ganis quickly. That's helpful. And I get a very important item, the Mana Stone, which boosts my mana regeneration. The Footman and Knight should be fine, as long as they don't face any mini-bosses. It's completely random, but I was lucky enough to catch both bosses with Arthas. On hard, Mal'Ganis resurrects pretty fast, but instead of killing him again and triggering all his forces, I decided to let him destroy buildings, while Arthas, under shield, steals the civilians. Everything to be the first one. But after some time, Mal'Ganis and his forces started chasing my Knight and Footman, completely ignoring buildings. At the same time, my base got attacked, and without any defense, I couldn't do much. So now I was even more on a timer, because if you lose your base, it's a game over. After reloading, I thought about facing Mal'Ganis with Arthas again, but in the end he just stopped and his entire army was standing still, waiting for a command. I'm not sure what broke him, but I managed to kill 100 infested civilians faster than my base was destroyed. Mission 7 is a very easy mission. How could there be any problems? Usually you just need to free the dwarf's base and strike the enemy. Very simple. But since I can't afford the full dwarf forces, it will be not only slower, but will also allow my enemy to grow. To spend fewer resources on a base, it's better to free the dwarves as early as possible, because they have a much better tech tree already unlocked for us. I rushed Arthas to the dwarves, and as soon as I could, stopped them from attacking the enemy and eliminated all witnesses of a potential accident. There are also additional workers, which I don't need. The purple base has already a necropolis and a crypt to produce crypt fiends. But only one mortar team? Well, it will be a slow process, but still better than nothing. But here's the bad news. The green enemy doesn't sleep. Now they have gargoyles. And my only answer to them is one rifleman and Arthas. And since the rifleman gets killed almost instantly, I have only Arthas. There are also regular ground attacks, sometimes even including a leech. He is level 5 now and I can't allow him to reach level 6. So while I'm fighting the purple base, the green wall will definitely show up to ruin the day. Better be ready. Initial attacks aren't too bad, but still dangerous. I defeated the purple base, now I can prepare for the next one. I decided to go with a tank, but I need a castle upgrade for that. Also, since I need to destroy a full enemy base, and there are quite a few gargoyles, I decided to invest in ranged weapon upgrades. Imagine how expensive that is without an economy. During my preparations, enemy aggression kept growing. Arthas could barely manage the air attacks and there wasn't much time to heal him. Ground attacks became more aggressive. I had to act. Between the attacks, I managed to destroy the first tower, and with a tank, I could just barely destroy one crypt. And the main problem? Workers. They constantly ran in one by one to repair. Gladly, I could easily kill him with Holy Light. And yet, those structures were not rebuilt, so I gave it some gold for another tank and managed to destroy the slaughterhouse. But that one was rebuilt when I revisited the base. It's over. Enemy aggression is too high. I need slightly better economy and need to act even faster. So I restarted the mission and killed every single neutral unit I could find to gather all possible gold. Once I met Muradin, I didn't waste much time there and went straight to free the dwarves, clear the purple base and build a tank. Then I took all my forces. I had to destroy the necropolis. I struck just between enemy attacks, avoiding the gargoyles. I hit the necropolis and it wasn't even close. My forces got wiped out too fast. I couldn't just do anything. The acolytes repairing it were unmanageable. I didn't have enough mana, but I was desperate enough to keep trying. But on one attempt, that was something. I tried baiting out some forces by damaging the nearest ziggurat, killed the lich and attacked the necropolis. I focused on healing my units to keep them alive for as long as possible. The tank was still alive and half the necropolis remaining. But for some reason, there were no acolytes repairing it, and it went down. I could even kill all the acolytes and they couldn't rebuild anything. Arthas under shield could solo the remaining structures. The enemy even stopped actively rebuilding units. Was it luck? No, it was actually good that I hit the ziggurat first to bait enemies. The acolytes made the ziggurat their first repair priority and forgot about the necropolis. And since only one acolyte would be sent to repair at a time, I could keep my units alive long enough. Now, with all items collected on the map, including the Frost Orb, which helps slow enemies, I can finish this mission. Mission 8 is not a big deal. I can use Arthas and the mortar team. And then I remembered, I don't even have to say the mortar. Arthas can always buy sappers to clear the road. So I took the clause of attack plus 12 from the spider to give me more advantage in the next mission. And the last segment with all the undead units, I just took the ice troll and passed by everyone, straight to the last ship and destroyed it. Mission 9 with fully prepared Arthas is actually not that bad. I led Arthas straight to the Guardians of a Frostmourne. With Divine Shield and Holy Light, it was quick to finish him off. Back at the base, I didn't have much time to eliminate all the unnecessary units, so I just moved them away. Initial attacks weren't too bad with my spec forces. I could split them and take separate fights on all three sides. Then I got my tank and moved with Arthas toward Mal'Ganis. Arthas now has chaos damage and can easily destroy all structures. But first, I had to take care of the Necropolis and Acolytes. I baited out one Acolyte, then rushed the Necropolis with a tank and Arthas. The tank wouldn't survive for long, but it didn't need to. It bought enough time for Arthas to finish the job solo. And that's it. Just wait for Divine Shield cooldown and proceed with destroying buildings. There were one or two more attacks on my main base, and I had barely enough units left to defend. But with the last production structure destroyed, I finished the human campaign with my Spec Ops. Thank you for watching, and if you liked this challenge and video, please leave a like.